4:16 a.m., July 18th, 2025. Over the dark waters east of Taiwan, warning klaxons erupt aboard the USS Gerald R. Ford. 12 Chinese hypersonic missiles streak toward the carrier at Mach 5. No drills, no second chances, only seconds to react. The South China Sea, a vast blue expanse where $3.4 trillion in annual trade flows like clockwork. On this June morning in 2025, 180 nautical miles from the nearest Chinese shoreline, the USS Princeton and her carrier strike group sailed in international waters under the banner of freedom of navigation. This wasn't provocation, it was policy, a mission rooted in decades of international maritime law. On the American side, the 104,600-ton USS Nimitz-class supercarrier, escorted by the Aegis cruiser USS Princeton, destroyers Chung-hoon and Kidd, and a screen of air power, E-2D Hawkeye early warning aircraft, FA-18E F Super Hornets, EA-18G Growler electronic warfare jets, plus MQ-25 refueling drones and Triton reconnaissance UAVs. Beneath the waves, a Virginia-class attack submarine shadowed the formation in silence. Across the horizon, China's Type 052D guided missile destroyer, the carrier Shandong, with her ski jump deck launching J-15 fighters, a Type ZO-39 diesel-electric submarine lurking below, and a growing arsenal of hypersonic missiles and electronic warfare drones, weapons meant to intimidate and test American resolve. On this day, those weapons would move from display to deployment, and both nations would be seconds from a confrontation neither could afford to lose. 09:23 hours, June 14th, 2025. Inside the Combat Information Center aboard USS Princeton, the green sweep of the SPY-1 radar paints something alarming. A Chinese Type 052D destroyer, loitering at 200 kilometers, suddenly surges from 18 to 30 knots in under 90 seconds. In Beijing, fresh orders have just been given. Intercept the Americans, make them blink first. At sea, within seconds, the Cooperative Engagement Capability, CEC, links every ship in the strike group. Data flows in real time. The Nimitz adjusts course fractionally. Destroyers Chung-hoon and Kidd shift stations to tighten the defensive perimeter, and firing solutions update across multiple launch cells. In the air, the Chinese carrier Shandong begins launching J-15 fighters. But the ski jump deck limits fuel and weapons loads, forcing the jets into steep, fuel-hungry climbs. On the American side, FA-18E Super Hornets roar off the Nimitz's catapults at 45-second intervals, fully fueled, fully armed, their Link 16 networks sharing every radar contact instantly. EA-18G Growlers slip into jamming orbits, sowing phantom targets on Chinese screens. Underwater, sonar operators aboard Princeton pick up the acoustic signature of a Type 039 diesel-electric submarine 80 nautical miles away. It's loud. Like a freight train, one petty officer mutters, betraying its position with every turn of the propellers. If hostilities break out, an ass-rock launch could end its mission in seconds. The American formation holds steady, professional, predictable. But the tactical picture is shifting. Every minute, the Chinese destroyer closes the gap. Every minute, the potential for a mistake, or a deliberate strike, grows. And somewhere out there, Beijing's commanders are watching, waiting for the moment to test the line between intimidation and war. 09:47 hours. The tension spikes. The Type 052D's Type 346A phased array radar stops its broad search and narrows into fire control mode, locking directly onto the USS Nimitz. In naval warfare, this is the electronic equivalent of aiming a loaded weapon at someone's chest. For 30 long seconds, the invisible beam holds steady, long enough for every sailor aboard to feel it in the pit of their stomach. Inside the Princeton's Combat Information Center, the tactical action officer calls it out. Fire control lock, bearing 260 Chinese destroyer. There's no panic, no shouting. Just the quiet mechanical discipline drilled through years of exercises. The captain doesn't flinch. Log it. Time, signal characteristics, bearing. Keep weapons in standby. Every operator knows the rules. No shot unless fired upon. No escalation without intent confirmed. Professionalism over impulse. Then, 20,000 feet above, a different challenge. A lone Chinese J-15 breaks from its formation and dives toward an American FA-18E. The maneuver is a thump pass, an aggressive, high-speed, close approach meant to rattle the target. But the American pilot isn't rattled. He's Top Gun trained, a veteran of hundreds of intercept drills. At the last moment, he rolls inverted, drops his nose, and slides neatly into the J-15's 6 o'clock position. For 3 perfect seconds, his helmet-mounted display shows the Chinese fighter's twin engines glowing hot in infrared. A single squeeze of the trigger would send an AIM-9X Sidewinder straight up its tailpipe. He doesn't squeeze. He holds position, lets the moment pass, and watches the J-15 claw back into formation. Restraint isn't weakness here. It's strategy. Every move is recorded, every provocation documented. The Americans aren't here to start a war, but they are ready to end one, on their terms, if that line is ever crossed. July 18th, 2025. 0416. Local time. The calm, black waters of the Philippine Sea erupt into chaos. From the deck of the Chinese carrier Liu Yang 01, 21 electronic warfare drones leap into the air, their wingtips flashing with decoy flares. Behind them, 12 YJ-21E hypersonic cruise missiles ignite, climbing at blistering speeds beyond Mach 5. Their target, the USS Gerald R. Ford, a 100,000-ton symbol of American naval power, sailing 217 nautical miles east of Taiwan. In the Ford's Combat Information Center, the first radar blooms appear as crimson tracks, some diving low over the sea, others screaming in from altitude. Alarms sound across the carrier. This is no warning shot. This is a direct strike on the U.S. Navy's most advanced warship. Within 14 seconds, the Ford's Aegis escorts, USS Thomas Hudner and other destroyers, respond. SM-6 interceptors streak skyward, spiraling into engagement windows. At 41,000 feet, 3 hypersonic missiles vanish in silent blossoms of fire. The second defensive ring comes alive. From the Ford's vertical launch cells, evolved Sea Sparrow missiles, ESSM, arc out, hunting the erratic flight paths of low-altitude drones. Explosions ripple across the wavetops as UAVs are plucked from the air. Then the last line, the close-in weapon systems. 6-barreled Gatling guns roar to life, hurling 4,500 tungsten rounds per minute. One drone breaks through the chaos, closing to within 210 yards, and is shredded mid-air, debris scattering into the ocean spray. 92 seconds after the first contact, the sky is clear. No hull breaches, no fires, no casualties. The message is unmistakable. The carrier lives, the fleet is intact. And now it's America's turn to strike back. 90 seconds after the last drone falls, an E-2D Hawkeye banks into a wide orbit above the Ford. Its radar dish spins like a silent guardian, stitching the battlespace back together. The electromagnetic fog begins to clear. EA-18G Growlers, already in position, unleash concentrated jamming pulses on the same frequencies the Chinese drones had used minutes earlier. 6 remaining hostile UAVs lose contact with their controllers, spiraling into the sea like dead birds. The enemy's attack net is fractured, their eyes and ears dulled. Now, the hunter becomes the hunted. At low altitude, an MQ-25 Stingray drone, masked by sea clutter, edges within 43 miles of the Liu Yang 01. Its high-resolution sensors mark heat signatures on the carrier's deck, pinpointing the forward aircraft elevator and the ammunition magazine deep below. Simultaneously, Navy satellites and MQ-4C Triton UAVs feed continuous telemetry to a strike cell aboard the Ford. Target packages finalize. The coordinates lock. Somewhere in the sky, two B-1B Lancer bombers are already inbound under strict radio silence, their payload bays carrying America's fastest, deadliest conventional weapons. 14:41 local time. The order drops. Two B-1Bs, flying at 36,000 feet, release a total of 4 AGM-183A ARW hypersonic glide missiles. The first ignites, climbing before curving down at over Mach 7. 4 minutes later, it punches through the Liuyang-01's forward deck, detonating beneath the aircraft launch cables. The second slams into the ship's port side, just 6 meters from the ammunition magazine. The result is immediate and catastrophic. A chain of secondary explosions rips through the carrier's spine. Fire erupts across the flight deck. A massive elevator tears free and cartwheels into the sea. The 75,000-ton warship lists hard to starboard. By 14:59, she's dead in the water. By 15:07, the pride of the PLA Navy slips beneath the waves. There's no cheering, no chest beating, just quiet acknowledgement. The mission is complete, the balance is restored, and the ocean swallows the evidence in silence. Power in silence. The Liuyang-01 is gone, resting on the seabed beneath 19,000 feet of Pacific water. No victory parades, no press conferences, only the steady hum of engines as the USS Gerald R. Ford and her escorts resume station. Every sailor aboard knows the weight of what just happened, and the significance of how it was done. Across the Indo-Pacific, allies see it in real time. Japanese, Australian, and British liaison officers embedded with U.S. Pacific Command transmit confirmation to their capitals. The strike wasn't reckless. It wasn't emotional. It was measured, precise, and final. At the Pentagon, the tone shifts. This isn't just a win on the tactical board. It's a living demonstration of American doctrine. The fusion of readiness, multi-domain coordination, and disciplined aggression. This is the playbook in action. Sea, air, space, cyber, and undersea forces working in perfect harmony under extreme pressure. For adversaries, the message is unmistakable. Strength isn't declared in speeches or military parades. It's proven when the time comes to act. For allies and the American public, the reassurance is clear. The U.S. Navy doesn't just defend its ships. It safeguards the arteries of global commerce and the principles of open seas. This was deterrence by example. No bluster, no chaos. Just the unshakable confidence of a force that has been here before and will be here again. When the ocean calms and the horizon is empty once more, it will still be the Stars and Stripes keeping watch. Not because it's easy, not because it's cheap, but because freedom of the seas demands guardians who can act, without hesitation, without disorder, and without needing to shout. If you believe in the power of preparedness, the strength of discipline, and the guardianship of global trade, share this video and subscribe for more. Tell me in the comments where in the world you're watching from. Together, we keep the sea lanes open and freedom sailing strong.